Typhoon Wipha has triggered widespread devastation across northern Vietnam and southern China, unleashing torrential rain, deadly floods, and violent winds. After forming over the South China Sea, Wipha intensified rapidly and made landfall on July 24th, bringing with it a barrage of weather hazards that left entire communities submerged, transportation crippled, and dozens of lives in peril. In Vietnam, Wipha struck the northeastern coast with brutal force. Torrential rain battered Quang Ninh, Haiphong, and the surrounding provinces, dumping between 150 and 250 milliliters of rain within 24 hours. Streets in Ha Long City turned into rivers. In dramatic video footage, cars were seen floating, and entire neighborhoods vanished under muddy floodwaters. The most tragic incident occurred in Ha Long Bay, where a tourist boat capsized amid fierce winds and choppy waves. At least 4 people died, including 2 crew members and 2 domestic tourists, while several others were rescued in critical condition. Emergency teams battled harsh conditions to recover victims and search for the missing. Wind gusts near the coast reached up to 100 km/h, toppling trees and ripping roofs from homes. Nearly 1,000 households were evacuated from low-lying areas. Provincial authorities issued emergency warnings, while schools and businesses were ordered to shut down. As Wipha moved northwest, it crossed into southern China, slamming Guangxi and Guangdong provinces. In Baisei and Hechi, relentless rain triggered flash floods and massive landslides, cutting off rural villages and isolating thousands. Meteorological stations recorded more than 300 millimeters of rainfall in some mountainous areas, overwhelming drainage systems and washing away roads. In Liuzhou, floodwaters surged through city streets, engulfing cars and ground-floor buildings. The Liu River overflowed its banks, prompting red-level flood alerts. Train services were suspended and several highways shut down as authorities scrambled to prevent further casualties. The storm's remnants collided with a mid-level shear line and subtropical moisture, forming a deadly rain band that hovered for hours. Residents described the scene as the worst flooding in a decade. Emergency responders deployed boats to rescue stranded families and deliver food supplies to isolated communities. By the evening of July 26th, Wipha had weakened into a tropical depression, but continued to bring damaging rains across southern China. Landslide warnings remained in effect for Guangxi and Yunnan, where saturated soils threatened further collapses. Across the region, initial damage assessments estimate over 10,000 hectares of farmland destroyed, hundreds of homes damaged, and tens of millions of dollars in losses. Power outages hit several counties, and emergency shelters have reached capacity. Authorities in both Vietnam and China have issued public health alerts for waterborne diseases and are racing to restore clean water supplies. The aftermath of Wipha is far from over. New rounds of rainfall are forecast in the coming days, posing a serious risk of secondary flooding and landslides. This is a developing story. Follow us for real-time updates, footage from the ground, and expert analysis on the deadly aftermath of Typhoon Wipha.